It's time we stop tolerating political promises that are little more than theatre, endlessly recycled to appease a weary public, only to collapse under scrutiny. Labour's pledge to build 1.5 million homes by 2030 is yet another hollow declaration in a line of political promises that insult the intelligence of voters. Let's be clear, this isn't cynicism, it's realism. The numbers don't add up, the track record of successive governments is damning, and the political will required to make this happen simply does not exist. It's time for politicians to stop treating voters like children who'll be pacified with shiny pledges and start delivering solutions that are grounded in reality. Wes Streeting's defense of Labour's housing target on *** was emblematic of everything wrong with modern political discourse, vague optimism masquerading as policy. The claim that Labour will defy decades of systemic failure to deliver 1.5 million homes in just 7 years is not only implausible but also deeply irresponsible. Piers Morgan's blunt dismissal of the target, "It's not going to happen," wasn't just a critique, it was a public service. Someone had to say it. Because while politicians like Streeting are busy selling dreams, ordinary people are trapped in a housing crisis that demands far more than empty rhetoric. Let's break this down. To meet Labour's target, Britain would need to build over 214,000 homes every year until 2030. This is in a country where the highest annual output in recent history barely scraped 200,000, and that was during a pre-pandemic economy with fewer supply chain disruptions and less political instability. Labour isn't inheriting a blank slate, they're stepping into a housing market crippled by chronic underinvestment, restrictive planning laws, and a construction industry grappling with labour shortages and rising material costs. The idea that this same system will suddenly become capable of churning out homes at a record-breaking pace is not just naive, it's laughable. Even if we momentarily suspend disbelief and imagine that Labour does manage to bulldoze through bureaucratic red tape, where are these homes going to be built? The debate on ** touched on the delicate balance between development and preserving Britain's green and pleasant land, but let's not pretend this is an abstract issue. Every housing project faces fierce opposition from local communities, environmental activists, and even members of the same political party. If Labour can't articulate how they'll navigate this minefield, their pledge is as good as dead on arrival. And then there's the elephant in the room, funding. Building 1.5 million homes would require billions of pounds in investment, yet Labour has been conspicuously vague about where this money will come from. Are we to believe that a party that has spent years criticising conservative austerity will suddenly find the fiscal discipline to finance the largest housing programme in modern history without plunging the country further into debt? Or will they rely on the private sector, the same private sector that has consistently prioritised profit over affordability, leaving us in this mess to begin with? Without a clear financial blueprint, Labour's housing plan is nothing more than a castle built on sand. But let's give Labour the benefit of the doubt for a moment and assume they somehow managed to overcome these obstacles. Will 1.5 million new homes even solve the crisis? The answer is no. The housing crisis isn't just about supply, it's about the type of housing being built. Developers have little incentive to build affordable homes when luxury apartments yield higher profits. So unless Labour has a plan to enforce affordability, we're likely to see more of the same, overpriced properties that are out of reach for the very people who need them most. The party's rhetoric about helping young people onto the housing ladder sounds noble, but without mechanisms to ensure affordability, it's just another empty promise. This isn't just about Labour. The Conservatives have been equally complicit in perpetuating the housing crisis, with their own failed targets and broken promises. The difference is that Labour is positioning itself as the party of hope, the party that will undo years of Tory neglect. But hope without substance is a dangerous thing. It raises expectations, only to dash them when reality sets in. And when people lose faith in the political system, the consequences are far-reaching. We've already seen how disillusionment with mainstream parties can fuel populism and division. The last thing this country needs is another round of political betrayal. What Britain needs is honesty. Politicians must stop over-promising and under-delivering. Instead of throwing out arbitrary targets like 1.5 million homes, Labour should focus on achievable goals, reforming planning laws, incentivising affordable housing, and investing in the skills and infrastructure needed to boost construction. These policies might not sound as flashy as a big, round number, but they're the kind of practical steps that could actually make a difference. The housing crisis is one of the defining challenges of our time. It demands bold action, but it also demands realism. If Labour wants to be taken seriously, they need to abandon the fantasy of 1.5 million homes and start engaging with the complexities of the issue. Otherwise, they're no better than the Conservatives they seek to replace, another party full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.